Don't let me stray. Please guide my way onto the path of my deen. Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh, Allah.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Welcome to an all-new edition of your favorite program, Let's Talk. Indeed, of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. Indeed, Huda TV is the pioneer, the premier English language Islamic channel in the entire world. So please continue to support us, to continue to be a light in every home on social media. You can follow us at www.youtube.com/HudaTV or on Facebook, www.facebook.com/HudaTV. And of course, every individual program does in fact have its own Facebook page like this one. So continue to please support us. You guys, this episode we're talking about youth issues that affect the Muslim youth all around the world. And this episode, of course, is no different. It's a very interesting topic. But before I tell you what that is, and before I introduce my respected and esteemed guests, I'm going to let you take a look at this report. So stay tuned, check it out, and we will be right back, inshallah.
And I praise Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah, how perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right here on the side of your body. And it doesn't matter if you throw a punch, the same thing happens. I'm here, I'm going to push in, just like a wedge, into that, drive my arm right up here on the side of the neck. So it's an easy enough technique to learn. The panic happens, I let that loaded arm, I just collapse into that technique, wear that guy out, cut through it. And you leave the thumb on top, just a loose fist, just close and hit. It's really simple and it's fast as you close the hand over to hit with it. So we don't need to worry about making a big hard boxer's fist. It's a simple fist. Even if my fingers are here as I hit him, a platter full of drinks like a server, I'm going to hit this, boom, drive this up, push the head over the top. At this point, just touch the face and push to the back. The trick, again, continuing that attack, we're coming all the way in and riding over, just shoving the head down behind it. If he shoots inside towards my face and I get this, my arm is still that same spot. So the wedge applies back up into that same target, that same wonderful little flash knockout that we're looking forward to. Advancing, you're talking about a fight, that guy starts to close in, and you learn how to use this kind of like a hockey check to apply on the back. And now I'm back into that palm, I can come back in for the chin jab, and I come back in here and work that side of the hand technique again on the side of the bottom, side of the neck. And obviously we always get the groin, the shins, the legs, all these other techniques that we can tie into if we need to. Outstanding.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Well, now you guys know we're talking about self-defense. That's right. And let's briefly define what self-defense is. According to Wikipedia, self-defense is a countermeasure that involves defending oneself, one's property, or the well-being of another person. So indeed, self-defense is something that every human being should be aware of and have some sort of experience and be able to implement in their lives for their own protection, the protection of their family, their spouses, their children, and the well-being of others in general. And unfortunately, in the political environment and climate and atmosphere today, Muslims indeed are under pressure all around the world. So it is important for us to learn how to defend ourselves and our families and our loved ones. Indeed, starting from my right, and actually, let me start by greeting my guests. Assalamu alaikum, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And I want you guys to start off by just saying your first name and perhaps where you graduated from, a little bit about yourself. And let me know if you know any martial arts or self-defense techniques, inshallah.
My name is Ihab Fikri. I have graduated from Ain Shams University here in Egypt, the Faculty of Education. And Brother Malik, once I heard the self-defense, it comes to my mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, loves all the people. Inna Allah bin Nasi ra'ufur rahim. Indeed, Allah is merciful to all the people. And when it comes to the believers, Allah loves the weak believers and the strong believers. But He loves the strong believer the most. Yeah. So the believer should be strong enough to self-defense himself.
Yeah.
And if he's killed, he will be counted as a shaheed.
Yeah, thank you, brother. That's
Thank
wonderful
you,
point. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate that. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, Mustafa Moore, and I'm from America, of course, and I mean, I've been on Huda before.
And what part of the states are you from?
North Carolina.
So you're from, and this is like the Middle East of the East Coast.
Yeah.
So you're from the Middle East of America to down the Middle East, the real Middle East.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And what about self-defense techniques? Did you ever study martial arts, karate as a kid or anything like that?
No, unfortunately, no.
Why do you say unfortunately?
Because I mean, it's a benefit, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you know, like, but one thing I did do, I used to like to stay in the gym.
Okay.
And I'd lift weights and stuff like that.
Okay.
And just that look, you know, what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that's like self-defense, you know,
Yeah.
because you know, like, you know, you had to look like, hey,
Yeah.
don't mess with this guy, you know.
Yeah. And also confidence in yourself when you know
Oh,
you're
yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
And if you are attacked, you're physically capable of withstanding
Capable,
it
definitely.
and getting away or
Inshallah.
restraining some. Yeah, so that's important. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go on to my brother. To the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yasser Lashkar. I'm from Alexandria. You know, they said "Ihbitu Misra" because it's down. So I came from up to down to Egypt. That's when I got to Egypt.
I love that, brother. Thank you so much.
So,
What about martial arts and self-defense? What do you know, brother?
martial arts. Well, I've practiced kickboxing for some time, and then I moved to a mixture of some other variety of stuff, like within martial arts. That's it.
What,
Still going.
can you just let us know what those varieties are?
The varieties are, you can say it's a mixture between jiu-jitsu and you call it the Russian system. It's Russian system is
The Russian sickle.
right, exactly. You have it right.
And what would? Oh, go ahead.
So they came up with the system of self-defensing and attacking too.
Okay.
But to they came up. First of all, the Chinese came up with the kung fu stuff.
Okay.
So the Russian came up with a system with some kind of system that would get you in any kind of move, in
Okay.
any it's like going with the nature, like
Okay.
anything you would go just
It
right against it.
incorporates all these systems.
Exactly, everything mixed together in a way that is hard to predict.
Yeah. Right.
In
Or for
a
your
way-
opponent to predict.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict what you're going to do next because you can do it in a lot of moves, in a lot of
Okay.
ways.
Okay. Wonderful.
That's
And
it.
brother, what I want to before I go to my next guest, what I want to mention to you was that I forgot to mention in one of the episodes we did about languages, our intention. What is our intention? So our intention always should be to please Allah, get close to
Exactly.
Allah. So that's why we learn Arabic and so forth. So our intention in learning, what was your intention, brother? What should our intention
That's
be
right.
when we learn and study these martial arts and stuff? What should our intention be? And what was your intention?
That is the most important thing. You can't do anything without having the intention to do it clearly just for the sake of Allah, the sake of your religion. As long as you're not assaulting anyone, you're not overcrossing the red lines that you all know.
Right.
You can't assault somebody just because you're strong. Because, ever since I was young, my father used to tell me, no matter how strong you are, always remember that Allah is stronger than you.
Right.
One day it's going to come out and then bam over your head, and then you're going to remember, okay, that's where I belong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't come to a point to let somebody else remind you of that fact.
Right.
Always keep in line the rules. Go by, be peaceful. Just like Malcolm X said, be peaceful. But if anyone put his hands on you, send them to the cemetery.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
To be
don't
prepared.
don't cross the lines.
Yeah.
You can't do that because, so actually in Buddhism, people who worship Buddha, it's not a Semitic religion, so you can't consider it as a religion. But that's a different topic. Anyways, with this Buddha, they teach people about Kung Fu as something as like just like we Muslims teach our kids how to pray.
Oh,
They
I see.
teach exactly the same thing.
Oh, okay.
How to defend themselves, how to go with the nature, how to. We Arabs should, or Muslims in general, should have the same mentality
Yeah, certainly.
of having self-defense as art. Just
Yeah.
like the Russians developed something for themselves so they would sustain in a nature that is so tough,
Yeah.
in a cold nature, it made them harder, stronger, bigger, much heavier, much, a lot
Durable.
of benefits,
Yeah.
everything that you can
What's
ever
the name
imagine.
of it?
This Russian system, what did you call this? Russian self-defense, what did you call it?
It's called Systema. Systema.
Okay.
System?
Yeah, Systema. You can Google it, or you can watch some moves.
And
It's it's created to overcome
the kung fu.
the steps. You know, they're like, when the kung fu, there are steps, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? It's all constant.
Yeah.
It never changes.
Right.
It's always in a way that you can predict.
Right.
Just
right.
by moving a shoulder, or by moving 1 foot ahead, or twisting the ankle a little bit, you're gonna know what is gonna do.
Right.
But it's different with the system. You can't predict it.
Right.
That's
And
it.
brother, and I want to talk about this later in the episode, but I saw online that the quote-unquote so-called Israeli Defense Forces, they train all their soldiers and Israeli citizens in this defense system that they've learned. And I Googled it online, and it's vicious. And I think all Muslims should learn this and learn self-defense in order to defend ourselves from these people. And it's called Krav Maga. Did you hear about this?
No.
We'll talk about it later, inshallah.
Right.
Let me get to our next guest. I actually heard it before. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ibrahim Hamada is my name. I have graduated from Al-Azhar University, School of Language and Translation, Department of Islamic Studies. Yes, before you ask, I did the promo for Huda TV, Ask Huda. So I think I'm a big star for our viewers.
But the viewers, I want to ask a question that the viewers are dying to ask. And all the viewers at home, they're wondering, when you're driving that red car and the gas light comes on, why do you get out and check the hood?
Because this is an order to me from the editor of the work, so I did. So I did, yeah.
Okay,
but you know, I can handle it because maybe I say I smell something on the water or something like that, so I checked it out.
Okay, what about self-defense? Did you study self-defense as a kid? Did you learn karate? Did your father teach you how to box, or did you have any experience?
Unfortunately, I didn't learn. I didn't learn how to defend or some some playing or something like that. But by nature, if you know, when I was like a child or something like playing with our friends, so if anybody just annoyed me when I was children, we just keep on fighting, boxing like that. But just by nature. But I didn't. And this is, you know, unfortunately, I didn't learn. But I think it's very important to practice. I mean, to learn like a specific, playing or something like that, because it's very important to defend yourself. Maybe defend your wife, defend your kids, defend your family. It's very, very important. Inshallah, I'd like to learn in the coming future. Inshallah.
Yeah, you know, I actually thought about this topic because I thought, you know, especially when you're in non-Muslim countries, you know, you're like a target. You know, sometimes you feel uncomfortable. You don't even feel safe. And what if you're in a position where you have to defend yourself and your family? What would you do? You know, you have. So if you have no, you know, self-defense techniques, then what would you do? But I want you guys to tell me a couple reasons. Perhaps the viewers will say, look, I don't need to learn self-defense because I called the police. The police will come.
Yeah, right.
Well, yes, perhaps, right? So what? So what are some reasons why? What are the benefits of learning self-defense?
Well,
What do you think?
You be in the grave with the phone in your hand.
And you wait for the police, right? But what are some benefits for self-defense? For themselves? Why? Maybe somebody says, you know, I don't want to learn self-defense. What are some benefits of learning it?
Well, I mean, you know, first of all, you know, like the brother Ihab said, Allah loves the strong believer. You know, I think there was a hadith that.
Yes.
Someone could you help me with the hadith? I know that. Yeah. Like the mu'min qawi, who ahsan the mu'min da'if. Yeah. Okay.
So that's one point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, and I mean, we need to try to gravitate toward anything that Allah Azza wa Jal loves. If we heard that Allah loves it, then we need to run towards that. You know.
Yeah, certainly. And, you know, I was actually online, and I said I saw that crime is on the rise in the United States, and they
on the rise.
And if you'll be shocked by the Mustafa. They gave the list of the top 10 cities with increase in crime, in violent crime actually, and that's a big difference, right? Just crime and violent crime. You know, robberies, rape, assault. And it was in cities in Idaho, Wisconsin, Maine, South Dakota, West Virginia, California, Ohio, Indiana, and Texas. I mean, about 8 of those states are not states that you consider to be crime-ridden states.
Hey, you know, everything's bigger in Texas.
But what about, now let's talk about perhaps self-defense between men and women, actually. Oh, go ahead.
Brother, you know, when I was young, I used to practice some sports, you know, as Kung Fu and Karate and this stuff, you know. But nowadays, we are occupied with life and work and, you know.
TV programs.
Yeah. near future, inshallah, I hope to practice some. But you, Brother Yasser, have mentioned a very important point, which is intention.
Yes.
Because in the day of judgment, everybody will see his his time, his work, in his deeds, like boxes. So he will open a box and he will find rewards, good deeds. So he'll be happy.
Right.
He will then open the second box. He will find some bad deeds. So he will be sad. And there is a third box, which is empty box. No good deeds, no bad deeds. So his sadness will be greater than the box which has the bad deeds.
Yes.
So back to intention, I have remembered a very important hadith. Subhanallah, Allah, if person used to pray night prayer, for example, or used to visit sick people, something like that. When it comes to if he felt sick or traveled to some abroad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him the reward that he used to do.
Right.
So the intention is very important topic.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And of course, and of course we have the first hadith and that was collected by Imam Nawawi, was narrated by
إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. Yeah, all action is based upon the intention. And any
person what he intends for. I know we have to take a short break, but I'll only bring that up because when I typed in self-defense for men and self-defense for women, I got different results. And I want to share those with you guys after the break. You guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk. We will be right back, inshallah.
Perfect my eyes and I praise. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Blessed month has dawned upon us with its merits and blessings combined. In it the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon his soul. Without iman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, in this blessed month of Ramadan, we need to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, what we're trying to get out of this blessed month, and what we're going to do after this blessed month of Ramadan. Please join me live every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 2 o'clock GMT on the program Ramadan Spirit. We're going to have with us Sheikh Haytham Al-Haddad, Dr. Saeed Al-Qadi, Imam Wasim Kensum, and Sheikh Alamgir Ali live in London, and we're going to speak about these important topics. Please do join me then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Blessed month has dawned upon us with its merits and blessings combined. In it the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon his soul. Without iman being uplifted from reading the Holy Quran.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back. We're talking about self-defense, you guys, right here on Let's Talk on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I hope you benefited thus far to what we shared with you. In this segment, we're going to talk about the difference of self-defense systems and methods, between the differences between men and women, and the different dangers and fears, rather dangers, I guess I could say, that men and women face, and the way that they employ self-defense techniques. But before we talk about all that, let's take a look at this report, and we will be right back after that. So stay tuned.
My eyes and I praise. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, obviously one of the worst situations you can possibly get into in a multiple attacker situation is where you get cornered in. Where you get cornered in and people just start jacking on you in the corner somewhere or up against the wall. This is not a hopeless situation like it seems like it is, all right? So, but it just requires a little bit of science, and you can actually defeat as many attackers as are here. In fact, we've tested this with as many as 35 guys, and you can even try this in your own martial arts school or whatever you want to do. But this works really, really easily. So let's say worst case scenario, I've got this biker gang that just decided to jack me up. You guys don't really look like much of a biker gang, but so they've got me jacking up. So let's say that right now, just in this example, everybody's holding me right up, like pushing up against me, and I can't move. Now, if I try to get away from these guys and they're really holding me back, trying to use my force against 3 guys is not going to work. Okay, so with their force, though, while I can't move forward, I can move laterally because physics would show that I have lateral movement here. I didn't really pay attention to physics, so I don't know what physics principle it is, but laterally I can move as much as I want because I can just slide against the wall. It doesn't even matter if it's cement. I have lateral movement here. So as they're pressing in, all you need to do is take one person, and it doesn't matter which person it is. This is not determined upon who has the most force on you or anything. So all I do is take one person. In this situation, I'm going to take my far right. Let's say I've got my right hand here available. As they're pressing in, I'm just going to take his chin. As an example, you can use pretty much his shoulder, his arm, or anything. And as they're pressing in fact, the more force that they have pressing in, all I do is take his chin, move laterally, and they all fall against one another. Because their forward momentum is going in this direction. When I'm no longer there, they all just collapse. They just implode on one another. Now let's take it another step further. Let's say we don't just have a bunch of guys who just think it's kind of fun to pin me up against the wall. Doesn't sound right, does it? Okay, so let's say that they're going to start wailing away at me, okay? So they've got an arm on me, and they're going to start punching away at me. This sucks. This really sucks for anybody. So all you need to do from this situation, obviously you're going to get tagged a little bit, so you got to make this fast. But all you do is I can still take one person's wrist right here. Anything that they have that's giving them stability, I can just take this right here. So if they're punching away, I'm trying to guard, I just take this wrist, pull through as I come through here, and that lateral motion that I have, is going to make them all fall upon one another while I escape out of here. So give this one a try yourself. Just go get a few cases of beer and get all your buddies together, and then get up against the wall and just dare them. Tell them, I swear, it doesn't matter how strong you guys are, I'm going to make all of you guys just fall down. So they'll take you up on the bet. You might be able to win a little bit of money, but give this one a try. You'll see that it works very, very well.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. We're talking about self-defense. You guys, I hope you enjoyed that report there. Like I mentioned, we want to talk about the difference between self-defense techniques between men and women.
Actually,
go ahead, brother. Yes, because you are the martial arts man.
Actually, I believe because Allah told me so, that women are weaker than men. Mm-hmm. Put all these stuff that we have in modern times.
This
aside.
Political correctness.
Exactly, about equality and stuff. Yeah, we do love equality and we love women and everything, and in a good way, not in a bad way, in a respectful manner, in a way that we respect them and we would never look down to them, because that woman is my mom, my sister, and my daughter, and my grandmother, and each and every woman around my family. So I have to respect. I can't insult one, and I can't put down one. And I wonder at some people who would be like, oh, look at these Arabs. They're backwards. They're illiterate. They treat their women like they're dogs. So I dare any man to come down to an Arab country and point a finger toward a single family like that, because right now you won't find. Why? Because in Islam, women are given more rights probably than in any other religion. You all know that.
Of course.
It's a fact. So, in any other country, in any law, in the French law, in any kind of law you would go into it, it will never ever get the rights that Islam give it to women. Just like Islam.
Of course. But what about self-defense with women, brother?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying. That's where I'm trying to move on to. So in sports, they're allowed to participate in any sport they want. Any sport they want, and I'm responsible for this. Why? Because as long as they cover up, because Allah said in Quran, Surah Al-Ahzab, I think it's in verse 100 something, 75, I don't remember. Anyways, it said, "Oh Muhammad, tell your people, tell your women, and the women of the believers, and tell your daughters to cover up, because that will be better for them. So the other people will not annoy them. So they would be known. So everybody would recognize them as they are respected, full covered. They don't talk to men. They don't mixture." Got it. So
it's a precautionary measure.
That's right.
So you don't attract trouble.
Beside that, you can participate in any kind of sport you want, any sport you're willing to do, whether it's martial art, whether it's swimming. Swimming is the most amazing sport that one can do. That's why Ibn Omar narrated that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, participate, practice swimming, archery, and
I think it's not hadith, it's
like,
it
it's a
is.
saying from Brother.
It is. It's mentioned in
Horseback
Ibn
riding.
Kathir in Kitab. Horse riding,
Swimming and shooting.
and archery, shooting.
Great.
Not just shooting. It's walking from a mark until the place where you shoot at.
And that's
you
great.
Shoot from.
That's wonderful.
So basically, just walking on and back, that's a sport in Islam, and you'll actually, inshallah, get rewarded for it because you're practicing sunnah.
Right.
And it's just like swimming. Swimming, it cures the body. Actually, recent researches, I'm sure you've came across stuff like that, that swimming actually cures the body from a lot of diseases like bones problems. What do you call it? Cold, some kind of allergies or some kind of problems that get into the bones.
I mean,
it's the immune system.
It's no joint pressure. Like lifting weights, you put pressure. Swimming, no pressure on your joints. So that's amazing.
It's wonderful for your feet, for your bones, for
your heart, your everything.
And I think self-defense. I mean, the word itself, it doesn't mean like just fighting with other in crimes or something like that. But I think self-defense may be defense your body from sickness. I mean, to take care of your body. Regarding to your food, to practice, sports like some exercises. Against sickness and the illness and something like that.
Thank you, brother. Because you can extend it to spirituality too, by praying, by fasting, by practicing Islam. You make self-defense. You're essentially doing self-defense against depression and anxiety or whatever.
And against the shaitan.
And against the shaitan, Yes, great,
It is.
But
there are exercises for the body just like there are exercises for the soul.
Right.
The exercise for the soul is like praying, fasting, and all these stuff that God commanded us to do, that Allah commanded us to do. But the exercises that are beneficial for the body, any activity that you move in your body within any move, any kind of move, any type of move, just like football, swimming, martial arts. And those people who tell their women to sit back at home, don't go out, don't do any sports, all that is just messed up. It's terrible. Why? Because it leads to sickness. Most of these women are sick. They're ill. They go constantly to doctors. They spend, if you will calculate or measure the whole thing, it'll be excessively damaging to every level, to the economic,
But brother, what about self-defense with women though? How does martial arts, self-defense, differ with men and women? Because like you said, women are different. They're smaller, they're weaker, so they have a different methodology that they should use, right?
They're smaller, they're weaker, and this type of art or this type of exercises need a strong heart. When you can't look at a man who's down, who's laying down, and then go on and beat him. You can't do that.
Right.
But if you're under attack, and a guy came up to you and he's pulling a gun at your face, give me your money, just like our friend who got robbed just last week.
Yeah. Allah help him.
He took his iPad, took his all this stuff.
Yeah.
So if he knew some kind of martial arts or any stuff, that will help, of course. Inshallah. I don't blame him. It's what happened, but you have to keep. You can't lay back and be like, I'll be waiting for something to happen or call the police.
Like
somebody's.
But I wanted to mention something to you. Yeah. When I typed in self-defense for men, you know what? I found an interesting blog, and it had all these self-defense techniques, right? But before it said that, it said self-defense for men is don't become angry, walk away, don't look for a fight, If someone fights you, walk away. If someone wants to fight you, walk away. And if you have to fight them enough to stop this attack. And you know, it was really wisdom. May Allah bless him. I was hoping to hear this, to see this man was a Muslim or something, because it said the first self-defense, and he says control your own ego. If you just learn how to fight and then you beat people up, that's not self-defense. That's assault. You know. Exactly. So I think that was wonderful.
Brother Malik, you know, here's the point. You know, to defend myself, so I have to practice some sports. But here's a point I consider it a misconception regarding sports. You know, so most of us think that to practice sport, I have to put the uniform on, you know, and it's time for sport. You know? But as brother Yasser said, walking is sport. Running, even running is sport. You know.
Just some basic exercise that you can go.
To add some important point, because brother Yasser mentioned it regarding to women. I think women also, it's important to you know, practice sports. I mean, I remember the Prophet, peace be upon him, he used to run with the lady Aisha, may Allah bless with her, and in many cases the Prophet was to be the first, and in many cases also Sayyida Aisha was the first. So it is for women to practice sports in under condition that it's her dress is very well in isolated place, nobody just watching her, something like that. It's important,
Brother Malik, regarding the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, he was very, very strong man. You know, when the companions narrated that in the battles, when it comes to, you know, hard times, they used to, you know, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to protect them. You know, so the Sahaba came behind the Prophet.
We're going to take a short break, you guys, and we'll be right back after the break. We're talking about self-defense, and then this next segment, we're going to continue our discussion about the difference of self-defense between men and women. And I want to go over the top 10 martial arts that are suggested for people who simply want to learn them for self-defense purposes. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك الموحدين.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught me how to respect my parents.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught me how to have good manners.
Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught me the rights of my Creator.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught me to always say the truth, no matter what.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, has taught me to be kind and merciful to my parents.
The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught me to treat all humans with equality.
The Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, taught us to be patient.
اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك الموحدين.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. You guys, thank you for staying tuned. We're still talking about self-defense, and this applies, of course, for men and women, young and old, all Muslims all around the world. Indeed, it's a very important topic, something that we forget. We emphasize, I think, a lot, book learning and studying, but we forget about the practical stuff that is important also. We prepared a report for you guys to enjoy, so take a look at it, and we will be right back after this short break, inshallah.
How perfect you are, Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
YouTubers, welcome back. Dan and I have yet again some more self-defense videos for you guys. The thing we're going to do right now is bear hug, defense, and escape. Alright, bear hug can happen anytime. Most of the time it's going to be a big guy grabbing you from the back, either with your arms pinned to the side, or under your ribs. Either way, it's a good thing for you. Okay? The person is relinquishing their weapons. They no longer have hands they strike you with. They're grabbing you. They've committed themselves to holding you. The thing you don't want to do is turn it into a contest of strength. Because this person is grabbing you because he feels that he's stronger than you. He can control you. Allow him that illusion. That is what's going to put you in a good place right here. Is making him think that he can just pick you up. All right? What's going to happen? You get bear hugged. Boom. All right? You're going to feel that jolt. People say headbutt. Bam. Headbutt is great. But if he gets headbutted and takes me to the ground, now I have this dude who might, just have a broken nose and get pissed off and keep me in this position. Okay? He might have me on the ground locked up and his friends might come and start tap dancing on me. Then, some people say get into a horse stance. I do like this version, the horse stance. But the problem is, if he's a lot taller than you, he's going to put his weight on you. He's going to lean over. So I get into a horse stance and I start to fall. Okay? That's a problem. What I'm going to do is he's bear hugged me. Okay? This is going to be the same as the headlock. I'm going to step to the side. So I'm going to step, bam, just like this. I can grab him, do something to secure myself. The hold is pretty much broken. My arm extends. My leg is here on his leg, and I'm just going to fall backwards. Here, elbow him in the nuts. Just start beating the nuts up. Beating them nuts up. Come back, boom. Elbow to the face. Ground and pound, do whatever. Get out of the way. All right? Don't stay down there. Because at that point, you're the aggressor. That's aggravated assault. If you keep lighting them nuts up and go over and... Yeah, exactly. So that's a bad thing. Another way to get out of a bear hug, we will do the horse stance, okay? But the thing is with the horse stance, we're going to put something a little different into it. Make sure your stance is good. As soon as he puts you in a bear hug, you drop into your stance. Boom! See what's right here? Foot. I'm going to drop down. Pull here. Knee bar. What I'm doing is I'm cranking his knee. He's caught in here. He's not going anywhere. He tries to fight, pull me into the ground. Go ahead, try. Nothing's happening. He's locked in, okay? I can keep him here, subdued. Dude, you realize you just bear hugged the wrong person. You fucking up.
Apparently so.
That's what happens. Again, we'll show you one more time. Bear hug. Boom. I'm going to drop into a horse. I want that leg. He's trying to hide that leg. That's cool. Pull through. Get him. Here, I'm going to turn. Extend all the way. You can strike him a few times. Do this. I can just pretty much be mean at this point. All different types of grappling. Is a toe hold right here. Ankle lock. Smack him if you want. Bear hug escape. Thank you for watching. Us.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that report, you guys. Thank you for staying tuned to Let's Talk. We're talking about self-defense, and as I promised, we're going to talk about the difference between in self-defense techniques between men and women. Brothers, when I search online for self-defense between men and women, I as I mentioned those nice things about men, essentially an ego check, and it said for men, just remember you want to return home safely. You don't have to kill the other guy, just get home safely. That was nice, I thought. Yeah. To women, initially it addressed women as a higher target of attacks because women are often raped. Men want to rape women, and you see them as an easy target. So I think it's even more important for them to learn self-defense, right? So it had some things that called, because women are smaller, so they have to use different methods and weaker generally than men, right? That's right. So physically, so they taught something called a wrist sweep. Yeah. And Brother Yasser, I'm sure you know this stuff, right? So what is a wrist sweep?
A wrist sweep is just like example when a stabber or a rapist or a robber or any type of criminal reaches his arm towards your shoulder or chest, or back, you know where to grab him from and then twist it.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to bend over towards any move you direct him to.
Right.
It's amazing.
That's good, yeah.
But some stuff are just meant for women.
Okay.
Like being totally destructive. Why? Because she's a woman.
Right,
right. She's weaker.
Yeah, she has to use strong force to get out of it.
Exactly, to finish, to end the whole thing.
Okay, now there was also, that was number one, they said, if someone tries to grab a woman, for the women. Now number two was called a peel arm bar. Do you know what that is? Arm bar.
Peel arm, or any type of peel arm, or reaching arm, or directing arm. Like when you throw an arm, or throw a fist, or throw any type of punch, especially using your arms, there's a strong force.
Right, motion.
A strong force. So you're just gonna use it for your own benefit. Like if it's using there, you're just gonna move a little and then pull it.
Oh, to get him out of your way.
Have you seen this actor Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
Exactly. He uses this type of technique. Like using the other guy's
energy,
force, exactly,
force
against himself.
Right. Yeah, that's Aikido, isn't it?
That's something like that. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. A couple more, if you don't mind me asking, but yes, you are a martial arts expert. Hammer grip, rolling elbows, bear hug. Do you know any of those?
Well, the names, they can be a lot of title names, but, according to the regions and places, so it's not 100%.
Okay.
But it's known from the
A bear hug for a woman?
No, she says in this video, this guy, he bear hugs this woman, and she does something, you're right, I think it's called a backstop knee, so she moves to the side, and she hits his knee or something like that.
Right.
What is that?
Well, you can, just like you explained, you can hug him and then a little bit, step a little bit, you can bend, and then turn over and then push his knee from the back, from your leg, from your leg or from your elbow by bending down to your knees.
Yeah.
Getting to the level of the knees and then hit his elbow or using your legs.
That's good. That's wonderful. Okay, you guys, I looked up now, just I guess for men, I guess, or for women as well, but mainly for men, that there was a list, a blog, it was called listverse.com. Okay, it was listverse.com. It's not Muslim people, it's martial arts people. Okay, but we want to take knowledge from them for our purposes, inshallah, right? Yes, self-defense, right? So I said the top 10, it said from 10 to 1, the best martial arts for self-defense. Number 10 was kickboxing.
According to them. Right.
According to them,
right.
Kickboxing. And instead, for a kickboxer, the first thing for self-defense is to use a high kick. This will shatter the man approaching you. Because I've seen you do a kick, Brother Yasser, and you put your leg like all the way up.
Well, the importance about the being high is, you have to put in your mind that a lot of guys can be maybe tall, maybe short, so you have to put more stamina into your foot, more practice onto your foot, so it would be more flexible.
Okay.
They use the most sport, like kickboxing. What is different between kickboxing and any other martial art is that there is a destructive force. When you hit, you actually you damage bones because the hit is in a certain way, a certain level.
Right. It's a destructive force.
Yeah, in a known places, in a very well known places, not just about any place. Just in a known place.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I think we have to look at the total image. I mean, why do you use self-defense?
Right.
Why do you use it? Because to have to defend yourself, I mean, save yourself, save your properties, your family, it's okay. All of us agree that it's very important to know self-defense in a sport, to practice your body, to be fit in any circumstances. But we have to look the other side. I think it's related to the manner of societies. I mean, if you see any criminal person or just grabbing or just stealing or using any force, like that, I think it's from my point of view, it's related to manner. I think we have a lot of problems regarding to the manners. We have not just to depend on the solution of self-defense to fight and to injure people, and if someone fight me, I'll fight him back. This is not the solution. We have to deal with this issue with the manner for concept. From the manner. I mean, for the the scholars, the Muslim scholar, have to play the rules in just teaching the people, don't just go this way and this is haram and this is forbidden, don't steal from body. If you see like a man walking with his wife, don't try just to steal him or just frighten him, this is haram, and this is for schools, from schools also, we have to teach our kids, our children, not to do that and do that. I mean, it's like, you know, not just self-defense. I can just to try to you have to use, maybe in some cases, I mean, I remember some Sahaba and some Salafis, they used logic, you know, in dealing with some people who just went to told them, why do you want to do that? Okay, take this, wisdom. Try just use your logic, you know, and most of famous Salafi, the people who came after the Sahaba, some of them are very famous, are criminal, you know, but they make tawbah and they repent, you know, and mashallah, they become very great scholars.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is like a very superficial, shallow way of thinking. I'm going to beat you over the head, you know. You want to try to use wisdom and hikmah first, and then if you have to, you know. I want to go to Brother Mustafa. Number 9 was karate. Did you ever take karate lessons as a kid? I didn't take really any. I know it was popular back in the States, actually.
Yeah, it was popular, but I never took any.
I never really took.
I mean, but alhamdulillah, you know, like here, it's available in a lot of the schools. You know, the kids can take it. You know, like just, you know, by going to a certain school, you can have karate.
Yeah, karate lessons.
Yeah, but no, but I wouldn't put too much weight behind it, man, because. You know, anything like the brother was saying, you know, the techniques, you know, you can become predictable. You know, you need to practice something that's not like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You need something.
And also, look, thinking fast and using your brain and wisdom and dealing with people. This is the most important. And then if you have to use, if that doesn't work, then you go. Number 8, actually, Brother Ihab, was Aikido, and they have something called the forearm return. And they said that was a nice way of using, if someone's aggressive, they said this was good for self-defense because it uses the other person's energy. So if someone attacks you, you just kind of deflect.
Let them go, continue.
You're like your friend Steven Seagal.
No, my friend.
I'm just joking. We have Kung Fu here, number 7. Number 6, Jiu-Jitsu. We have number 5, Jeet Kune Do. Number 4, boxing. Number 3, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And number 2, Kiso fighting method, and I'm going to save number 1 for later. But Bob, Ihab, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Brother Ibrahim? Look, we have to learn how to fight physically, perhaps, to defend our children and our wives and ourselves, especially if we live in non-Muslim societies, because we are, unfortunately, the target of hate crimes now.
Even in Muslim societies.
Even in Muslim societies, So now, but do you think it's more important to learn the physical fighting, or do you think we should listen to Ibrahim and also try to learn use wisdom in our speech as well?
Look, brothers, we as Muslims, you know, we are ordered not to transgress. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Allah doesn't like those who transgress. So, but to defend, in terms of defending, you know, yourself against the harm, you know, that might harm you and your family and your kids, and you know,
it becomes wajib, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Yes,
and as I mentioned earlier,
it's compulsory actually.
If you are killed, you know, you will be counted as a shaheed. You know.
Yeah. And brother, I did want to mention to you one point here. Number 1 for self-defense was this Krav Maga, and is taught by the so-called Israeli Defense Forces. And this was a fighting system that wasn't meant for like self-defense. Like they said they're trained to hit your vital points, your eyes, your throat. Really aggressive, actually.
Yeah.
And as peace-loving people, you know, we don't really think of this because we want to live our lives in peace and not be bothered and worship Allah peacefully, right? But I think it's important for us to, as human beings, to not just develop our academic part and our spiritual part, but also our physical part as well. So we only have about a minute left, Brother Yasser. I want you to maybe wrap it up in a minute. Talk about, you know, why you learned kickboxing, martial arts, and would you encourage others to do so?
Of course, I'd encourage all people to do so because it calms you down. It gives you more confidence. It gives you more stability. Actually, I remember once when I was in India, I said to this guy, "I'm so sorry, man. I apologize. What do you want? Just let me go. I don't want to fight. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
He was
but
robbing
I'm sorry.
you.
No, it was just like a
Oh, an
misunderstanding.
argument. Okay, yeah.
I said like, you know, it's not my fault, but I'm sorry. You see, I just want to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because I can see everything that is going to happen. So why go through it? If you go through it, then if you go through it, then that's being cocky. That's being
arrogant.
That's being arrogant. That's going through some arrogance, and that's when you're gonna be knocked down.
Okay. Right,
so you have to think fast. You have to think smart, and you have to go by what Allah says. Don't ever transgress, because if you do so, you'll get transgressed too.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. You know, love to other people. Well, don't love for people what you don't love for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Wonderful point. Yeah. Be mature about it.
Exactly. You know, don't assault anyone, and it's very, very beneficial for you. Not just martial art, any type of art, any type of sports like football, basketball. You know, being occupied, staying away from use of drugs, staying away from any misdemeanors, any kind of
crimes,
negative thing in your life.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. For the last word, Brother Ibrahim.
Yeah, it's very important to mention, very clear here, as a Muslim, to deal with the self-defense, we have to put just a limit. I mean, if any circumstance or condition forces you to go through fights, just to have to put limits. I mean, if you saw someone just knocked you, not bring a knife and then kill him, this is defense. No, I mean just to be react with at the
similar response.
Not just to go more.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Wonderful point. You know, respond in kind to how you were
and
treated.
Here in Egypt, like what is the name of the art or the Israelis?
It's called. We're almost out of time. It's called Krav Maga.
Krav Maga. Well, it's just a title, but I'm certain because I'm certain that Egyptian force, a special force, that they got something stronger than that.
Inshallah, you know, of course. But we know from 1973 they do. Inshallah. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Let's Talk. We hope you enjoyed it and benefited from this episode. You guys, it's our pleasure. Thank you for inviting us into your homes once again. And until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name. Allah, I call you, I need you. Allahu Akbar. Allah, your mercy is great.